Hello, everybody. I'm Jan Franek, product manager at GoodData, responsible for delivering of the AI functionalities, and I'm here together with Andy, and we would like to share with you some more information about behind the scene of an AI innovation happening at GoodData. Andy, would like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. Andy here. So I'm technical engineering manager for the team responsible for AI features at GoodData.
Yeah, and together with Andy, we would like to share with you some more details about like how we are building the set of the tools for the business users to simplify their work with the analytics and to speed up the time to insight, as well as the set of the tools that should make our customers more effective with building their data products for their customers. So when we are building all of this, we are keeping also in mind the data privacy and composability. So during the building of the AI features that we are releasing for productive usage now, we have been leveraging the key benefits of our platform, composability and semantic layer. How does this AI infrastructure look like today? Andy, can you share some more details around that?
Yeah. So on the high level, we have a pretty much a regular RAG that everybody is now trying to build with some exceptions. So we're not dealing with unstructured data that we are storing and vectorizing and using for search, but we are using our semantic layer as the basis for the RAG. And our semantic layer is basically a layer on top of your database, on top of your database schema that enriches this, adding annotations, adding metrics on top of the data sets, adding visualizations, insights, and dashboards. All this metadata together comprises semantic layer. So we are not only saving the titles and descriptions of every column in the database table and every metric that your data engineers create, but we're also able to take into account connections between these entities. So let's say if your RAG needs to look up a dashboard about net sales, we are able to not only look into the titles and descriptions of the dashboard, but also the visualizations that are being used there and filters that are being used there and so on. So it is quite powerful system. It is also working very well with data security and LLMs. We have a lot of customers that are worried about LLM security, about sending their actual data from their customers to LLM. And we are going around that by only sharing with LLM the semantic layer. So whenever there is a natural language request coming in from the user, let's say they are looking for, let's say, number of customers per state, and they want to have some visualizations based on that. So we are just checking if there is a metric already in our semantic layer for customer count. If it's not, we can even create ad hoc metric. And we ask LLM to generate the definition of the visualization that would answer the user's question. So we are not sharing any data directly there. We just ask it to create some sort of JSON in the format that we expect. And then our deterministic algorithm, our own analytical platform that is very mature and been there for a long while, is able to crunch the numbers and actually show something to the user. And that also works very well with our analytical lake. This is the latest addition to the data stack from GoodData. And there is a lot of place for improvement for analytical lake as well. Let's say we want to have smart caching when analytical lake is able to cache or even pre-aggregate some data based on the predictions from AI of what is going to be used the most. And yeah, there is a lot of stuff there, a lot of possibilities that we are uncovering right now.
Is there any like focus area for this year around like strengthening this AI infrastructure? Is there anything specific that you are focusing on right now?
Yeah. So basically, what we are doing now is building a strong AI infrastructure. As you said, we are um, having laying down the foundation for all the AI features that are coming next. So perhaps you would see less user facing features right now, but there is a lot of work being done in the background.
So you mentioned how the customer data are being protected by design of this AI architecture. Can you say which features are already using this AI architecture today in production? Which features we have built for the customers?
Yeah, so the first two customer-facing features will be semantic search and AI assistant. Semantic search is basically a simple search drop-down in the UI that you can enter some search terms in, and it will look up all the relevant dashboards, visualizations, and so on, including handling typos, handling multiple requests in different languages, handling synonyms, and so on. And the AI assistant is one level up, and it is about answering natural language questions from the users. So user can ask things like looking up specific visualizations on dashboards in the workspace if they're not familiar with it, or even creating ad hoc visualizations based on the question. Again, let's say customer wants to have to see a count of users per state, and it is not available, let's say, in the workspace where the customer is. So we can create ad hoc visualization and show this as a bar chart, let's say, to the user.
Mhm. So you have summarized basically this semantic search is like a simplification of the way how users can search for the existing objects. And AI assistant is going next step further and giving the possibility if there is no valid object that is answering the user question already created, then it will create for the user ad hoc, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have been speaking about the features that are in product already, but we are building also next generation of the features that will be connected to various other tools and data sources and will act more autonomously and will be capable also of decision making. Could you say something more about the technologies that we are using in this case? How we are aiming to support these more powerful and context-aware applications?
Right. So everybody is talking about agentic AI right now. So this is a very popular concept, and we are looking into that as well. So how this would be different from our current AI assistant is that this agent can be proactive. It can use multiple tools or multiple resources on end while answering the single question from the user, and it can also do stuff without even user asking the question. So we already have this new data trigger in our system. Whenever there is a new data arriving to your database, we get a trigger, and currently we just use it for things like clearing caches and making sure that everything is up to date on our side. But imagine that the same trigger can also run some sort of analytics, some sort of ML model on top of the new data to figure out if there are any outliers or the trends have changed and so on. And then this result can be passed down to the LLM, to the agent that is able to process this even further and finally give the user a report proactively, send it over email or write to user on Slack and hey, there is this new trend that I'm seeing in the data. You might want to look into this.
Mhm. I'm also convinced that this is like the future of the analytics, this direction. So I'm really looking forward and further improvement and collaboration in that direction. There is also big hype around MCP protocol that is that developers and companies are using to simplify development around the features that are using LLM. Could you say us more about this MCP protocol?
Yeah. MCP is standing for Model Context Protocol. It's a protocol that Anthropic invented and is promoting quite heavily, and it's getting a lot of traction now. OpenAI and other big players are now saying that they will eventually support MCP as well. So we're looking into that, and basically it's a way for your agent to communicate with different tools on the web. Think of it as a REST API, but very specifically built for your agents, for LLMs to consume. We are building, we already built some projects with MCP, and we are building more of them. We are adding remote server into GoodData. So if you're building your own agent, you're building your own LLM apps, they will be able to communicate with GoodData over internet and get the tools, resources, all the stuff that MCP can provide from GoodData. And also we are building MCP client on our side. So I already mentioned that we have this AI assistant, which is like a chatbot interface. And it is able to call our own tools like create visualization, semantic search, and so on. But imagine that you're able to also register your own MCP server with your own business logic specific to your industry, and then use all that inside of our interface, inside of our agentic AI.
Mhm. So we believe that this MCP protocol can help also speed up and improve building this agentic AI. Can you share a little bit more details, like how exactly this MCP can help in building the smarter agents?
Yeah, so it's all about standardization, right? Now there are a lot of tools provided by different vendors, and they are using more or less just a regular REST API. Think of function calling from OpenAI and how different tools. Some of them work a little bit better, some of them work a little bit worse. We have experience from our own that not every REST API feed that we have is compatible and works well with AI. And MCP is just doing the standardization part. So whenever there is a need for agent to communicate with some tool or communicate with another agent, let's say if you're building multi-agent environment and you want to delegate tasks, this becomes much easier if all players are talking the same language and using the same protocol for communication.
Mm-hmm. And we have been building also recently several features around MCP. Can you share like what are those features about, how we have used this protocol in this case?
Yeah. So the first feature that we did was just a trial run, just to see what MCP is able to provide, what kind of integrations it's supporting. We have an article about that coming up soon, so stay tuned. And the actual productization part that we are working on now, we have two interesting features. First of all, it is a remote MCP server at GoodData. So we want to expose any GoodData specific tools or resources that are interesting for AI through MCP protocol. This will be living next to our regular REST API and basically just providing the same functionality, but in this common language for agentic AI. And the second part is about analytics as code. So GoodData has already some extensions, VS Code plugins for handling analytics in your editor as a code files with Git and all the stuff that developers are used to. Our extension for VS Code is actually quite rich. We have all the stuff like cross-validation, reference validation, go-to reference, IntelliSense, and so on. And with modern smart IDEs like, let's say, Cursor, they are able already to bring this to the next level on their own because they see how other files look like, how the analytics is defined, and they are able to kind of derive the new stuff if you want to adjust your analytics or create some new metrics visualizations. And they are already able to consume the output from our VS Code plugin. So if you made some mistake, or rather Cursor made some mistake, and there is an error, it will immediately try to fix it because it will see this error. But what it is still missing is like the larger context there. Um, Imagine that you can ask a cursor agent to not only add your new visualization, but given even a less specific question, like I want to inspect how my products are working cross countries or cross states, right? It's a very vague question, and it's not easy for Cursor to figure out how to do it. But if Cursor also has access to MCP server from GoodData, it becomes easier because it can get all the context that it needs from us through tool calling and resource consumption, and then answer your question by generating some new visualizations on new dashboards that are rendering this data.
This is really, really valuable. I would like to return to one of our key advantages, and that is semantic layer. We have this incorporated into our product since the beginning. So this is like one of our big benefits. But we know that the status quo is not enough, and we are also improving that semantic layer. So can you say some more information? What are the next steps? What is the future of this semantic layer? Which directions we are going here?
Right. So another common term that everybody is talking about now is ontology. And ontology is pretty much a knowledge base for a specific industry or even a specific company. So take it like it's a glossary of terms plus some business processes and so on, like a knowledge graph of your specific industry. And it can help AI a lot by understanding better what user wants from you. So if you have some very vague question that if you ask someone on the street, they will not understand what you mean. But if you ask your colleague, they will know exactly what you want from them, right? I'm pretty sure that everybody can think of such question for their own industry. And if you give this ontology layer to AI, it is able to map what user is asking to what it needs to do much better. Luckily, GoodData is based on semantic layer that I already discussed earlier, and semantic layer is sort of your ontology to some extent, right? You have extra annotations on top of the data sets that you have. You have metrics with the description of what this metric is actually doing, and so on. So a lot of this ontology layer is already there, and we are going to extend it even further. We want to add more stuff there. We want to add more possibilities for data engineers to annotate stuff and to add, let's say, more generic items there, not only related to a specific metric or specific data set, but also to the industry in general or to the workflow in the company and so on, some more generic knowledge on top of our current semantic layer.
So we can imagine it like that customer will upload some set of documents or knowledge about their industry, their business, and by this they'll improve the smartness of whole AI that we have incorporated into our product, right?
Yeah, we are playing with different approaches right now. We will pick the best one. Whether it will be really extension of our semantic layer, and you will just have to fill in, or optional to you will have an option to fill in more fields there for every item, or maybe there will be a dedicated workspace level explanation of what this workspace is about and how to use it. Something like cursor rules for developers, but for data analysts. Or maybe it will be, as you say, you just upload all the documentation that you have in PDF files or whatever format, and our tools will be able to extract this knowledge and build a knowledge graph out of that.
So we have been talking a lot about large language models, model context protocol, agentic AI, but AI is not only about large language model and generative AI. We are not building just the chatbots. GoodData is the platform for the data products. So we are building AI-ready analytics like, for example, what does it mean for our customers?
Right. Yeah, we're working on a lot of AI related features right now. It's not only about LLMs, it's also about machine learning directly. We have forecasting and clustering, for example, already in a platform for some time, but we want to extend it. We want to make it more robust and applicable to more use cases, let's put it this way. We also want to do some more things around key driver analysis. So there will be ML functionality extended in the current offering. We are also preparing our APIs for being more friendly to AI. It goes for both REST API that we have there. We are adding some clients on top of that. We have Python SDK for quite some time already, and we are improving that. We have UI SDK, which with which you can embed stuff into your own application. And we are adding AI-related functionality there as well. So semantic search and AI assistant will be embeddable into any application. On top of that, of course, we are thinking about or building right now our MCP server, and this would make communication with external agents much, much easier. We are also thinking about how we can consume AI. So imagine that you have your data pipeline with ML already built in. So you're doing your own forecasting, which for a lot of use cases makes sense because very often this forecasting has to be fine-tuned for a specific use case, right? And our generic forecasting not always producing the best results for every use case just because of that, because it has to be fine-tuned. So we need to teach our system on how to consume this data, how to correctly display it to the user, how to use it and distinguish the real hard data from the forecasted one, and how to treat them differently. As for analytical lake, we are doing smart caching, as I already mentioned. So our system will basically lower your costs and lower the cache consumption by knowing which exactly queries worth caching, or maybe even do some pre-aggregation for certain things to make things faster. And in general, in GoodData, we have this way of doing stuff that everything is composable, right? You can take any part of GoodData and use it just that. If you have some very specific use case, let's say you're building your own application with your own UI and you have specific requirements towards how the data is being processed, it is very easy to do with GoodData. You don't have to use our UI. You can just go one level down on the APIs and build this most abstract level on your own in your own application with your own business logic. And we are applying exactly the same thing for AI features. So we are giving you the platform, and we are also giving you the way how to build your data applications with SDKs, with MCP, and with our own UI that you can embed or build your own.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. I'm convinced that our customers will really like that. Thanks, Andy, for sharing all these very interesting details. If you are watching this video and you are interested in more details and latest news from our kitchen, you can follow us also on social media or sign up for newsletter. Or if you plan to try our product or did it already, we'll be very interested to hear your feedback. Please share with us, and you can contact us or directly over our emails, or you can join our Slack community. We will attach the links to these additional sources under the video. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you.